Well, hello everyone. TheOntarioGardener here, back with part 3 of the Coffee King. And as you can see, guys, we are amassing tons of freaking prep stations. We have a lot more prep stations than we actually, can use, obviously. We're getting more grabbers, always more grabbers, because right now we're set up with 3 full automations. Meaning, automation is going into a prep station, and then we have one going into the regular coffee machine as well. And here I'm just debating about how to set it up a little better so I don't have two machines going into, like one machine going into two, and then the other machine is just going into, I'm trying to balance it a bit, and it's hard because of the way the layout is. If it'd be 4 deep on the top, or even 5, it is 4 deep, but I mean, I need one area to walk if it was 4 or 5 deep. Besides that, but again, it's just the way the map is laid out. It's more long than it is tall, or more wide than it is tall, so it prevents, excuse me, a couple of challenges, which is fine. It's not a big deal. We are moving along quite well. I'm just trying to, and I end up taking a long time to set this up because I'm like, how can I do this where it's better? So I don't have like the single use one all the way on the left hand side, because it's like I'm not using that one as much, right? So I should say, you're not using the one on the far left as much because you're serving for more in the middle. So you can see what I come up with. It's not ideal, and then I think I end up just putting it back the way it was because I'm like, this isn't going to work. And then I have to figure out how I had it set up, and it was like that, I believe, is how I had it set up. So you end up having, it works okay, because here we have a single going to the one on the far left, a single going to the one on like the second from the left, and then here I'm debating about how I want to do grabbers. Do I want to buy the smart grabber? How do I want to set it up? And then I do come up with a plan, I believe. I buy the smart grabber, and I'm like, okay, I got to reset this. So I go to practice mode, of course. You always want to set everything in practice mode. It's just the way you want to do it. And as you can see at the top, there's a mistake because I have the one grabber turned the wrong way. Now it's fine. And then I'm going to set this up like this. And this is going to go into, I think, the last prep station. There we go. And then I need one more grabber. I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do this now? Well, I got to find another grabber. I'm like, okay, here, this will work. That doesn't really change anything because the way it's set up. I wanted to have that one machine tipping into the one in the middle, but it's not going to work. And here I have a thing with 3 tables, a dining room table, and I'm just debating about what I want to do here. Like, how do I get this one to be 4? Well, I end up figuring it out quite easily. You can't fit 4 in this way. No matter how you do it, because of the way that the chairs are set up, it doesn't matter. Again, I wouldn't actually have to change where the number 4 is on the table on the far left, but I think I end up doing it anyway. And here I'm just debating in my head. I know sometimes it may be like, oh, you're wasting too much time. Not really. I'm not sure if I do a practice mode or not, but I mean, because of the amount of customers we have, I think I just do a practice just to make sure everything's working. So the far left one goes into the left one, second one, third one are all single use, and then the ones on the right hand side are a double use in the sense of that one coffee machine is filling up 2, but we have the manual machine as well. So all I really need from that is one more grabber, and I'm still debating in my head how I want to do this. You'll see what I end up coming up with. And it ends up working out okay. And the issue with this map is because we have all you can eat, we have the double brew, we have the half brew, we have every card that basically is against us to succeed. And you'll see what I do here in a second. Do I do it? Where is it? Maybe the next day here. I switch that around, and then do I run it off of today or not? I do run it today. So I must do that tomorrow. So I'm doing my research because right now there's nothing I can do. I'm just waiting. And like the slow brew card, or I'm not sure what it's actually called, the one that gives you slower speed, that actually hurts the most. And here I'm just pushing everything around. I grab the other coffee machine, and I'm just moving things down to prep stations that don't have anything, and the one in the middle I'm always keeping up with. I'm like, oh wow, I should have bought that. In hindsight, I should have bought that extra grabber that I had to stick it in front or behind the machine I'm standing at now to have that auto being made. It wouldn't be auto going to prep station, but it would still be auto made. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 8 prep stations filled. That's 32 cups plus what sits in the machine. So we probably have around 40 to 41 cups of coffee prepared. But look how many people come. Like, I've never seen this ever, and this is without phoning anybody. This is without actually having a real, rush in a sense, but like I start just going like a madman. I pull coffee from pretty much anywhere I can think of. The table on the far left is actually being auto-served coffee due to the smart grabber, so I have to be a little bit careful that I don't run out of that, but with patience. But I mean, I'm just going as fast as I can. And you can see it's working out okay. And there's more prep stations which you don't need. The table on the far left is the most difficult because I'm relying on the coffee machine that's feeding the 2 prep stations. Now, it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2. It's just, it can't fill both of them. There's another coffee machine. I don't think I end up grabbing that one. But I try to keep the pace. As soon as that one in the middle is done, you want to get another one going. You just want to go, 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 go. And I'm trying to, you can obviously see on the left-hand side, we have a lot more of a backup than on the right-hand side. And even though we're serving like 3 tables, each table is getting its own coffee machine on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, look at this. As soon as that last group just left, they come piling. But they all fit. They all do fit inside within reason. And so here I'm drawing from the frozen one, which is kind of like the backup. And here I have tons of coffee here. But again, everybody wants, that's another double order there. And here I get a little bit panic when the ones on the edge want double orders and I don't have it. Like on the left-hand side, we significantly have more coffee. Maybe it's just how it looks like it's working out because I'm grabbing coffee from all the way at the end here to satisfy the demand. I mean, it's working okay, but you can see on the left-hand side that one machine's basically not doing anything. And it'd be really nice to be able to fill the prep stations evenly. It's just hard to do that in general. I mean, you can fill them by having corner grabbers going along all of them, but just the way the layout is set up here, you would need, if you have one more space, you could do it. Now, the other thought I had here was to actually stand and serve in the dining room. Serve in the dining room, because as long as I keep pushing back the tables, but that's the problem. There's no room to push back tables. So how would I set that up? So here I'm a little nervous because we have 2 groups. This is the evening shift. There's still 2 groups outside, and the patients, just look how fast it's going down. There's no mercy when it comes to double orders and leisurely eating and double brew and all you can eat and all these other things. Do I lock in the coffee table? I do not. Okay, that's fine. But I mean, I'm going like a madman. And some people like to spread their things out and have a too wide gap for walking. I don't ever understand why you would want to ever have more of a gap than you actually need, especially with this because we're just serving coffee. Hindsight, we could have probably set up some lattes, but it would really mess up the rhythm, and it'd only be 15%. So when you're dealing with 32 groups, you're only going to be knocking it down, 4 groups maybe, which isn't a lot really. Now I'm like, okay, here, how can I set this up better? I'm just debating how can I automate this, and I don't think I go into too much detail with it, because it's just space. Like one coffee machine can supply 3 machines with cups. But again, the problem is just the way things are laid out. Now here I end up grabbing, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. I'm like, okay, can I have this one pulling into 3? That seems a little bit obscene. Let's just do it like this. And here I'm thinking about how can I set it up to have them pull like that one doing double duty as well. I'm like, maybe that would work, which it theoretically would, but it's not really gaining any. It's not really gaining us anything. And here I'm like, how can I set this up with the grabbers I have? And I do spend a lot of time doing this, but it's worth it in my opinion. And here I have it set up a little bit differently. I have that one pulling full coffee out, which is not what you want. And I'm like, okay, how can we set this up a bit better? Can we do it like this? Can we do it like that? And at the end of the day, you'll see what I end up settling on. And there's not really a better way to do it. Because I'm like, okay, that won't work because that'll pull from there. And I don't have corner grabbers. That's the problem is I was just been buying the regular grabbers. And here in hindsight, I should have, right where I'm standing, pointing. If that was a corner grabber, it'd be so much better. But it's not. So there's no way around it. I'm like, okay, well, can we do something like this? Feed this way. Well, no, it just doesn't work no matter how you do it. You'll see exactly how I end up doing it in the end here. Have that one going like that. How do I move? I move that smart grabber. I think I move that smart grabber over because you need to pull. No, because then I'm like, that's not going to work anyway. I need another corner grabber, and that's kind of like where I'm stuck. And what I have it set up here is very not right at all. So I'm like, okay, well, how do we set this up better? And in hindsight, I should have just left it how I had it. I'm just trying to make it so I don't have to do anything manually. But the problem is, it's just I'm like, okay, that's not going to work because it's going to pull cups from the top one. So I end up just moving that over there. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get more space out of it this way, which I do end up getting more space. It's just the issue is with the grabbers, right? So you see how I'm thinking. Even though this is 1.5x speed, it takes a bit to think about how to do this. Do I end up sticking with that design? I'm not sure if I end up doing or not, because now I'm having more of an issue because now I don't have a manual machine to use at all. So I'm like having a setup like this, I'm not gaining anything. The ones on the left are still going to fill up faster. The ones on the right are both doing double duty or even triple duty. The one on the far right, I'm like here because like there's nothing funneling in. The ones on the left are already full. Where I'm like, that's not very even. It's just hard to do it with, in my opinion. I mean, I was trying to do this in kind of one playthrough. I wasn't thinking of pausing it and trying different things off camera. I do everything on camera for you guys, and I'm like, you know what, this isn't going to work. So let's change it back. And I think that's what I end up doing is changing it back, which is perfectly fine. Like when you're doing with something like this, we have this many customers, and it's not even the fact that we have so many customers. It has to deal with the rush, and I've said this many times before, and it's exactly true too. Do I end up just sticking with this? I think I put it back the way it was. Put that back like that. Put this one to that. Now I do practice one more time because now I am feeding the middle one manually. So I didn't really end up changing that much. I didn't change that much, but the fact is that it's working again. So I think I just rock and roll the day. What do I buy there? Is that a counter? I think I just put things in there just to hold them. Yeah, just to hold things. There's nothing I really need. And let's just do the day. Day 14 already, guys. See what we get up to. And here, like, my biggest thing is, all right, let's just make coffee and make it. Because we have 2, 4, 6, we have 8 prep stations. I don't think I've ever used 8 prep stations before, ever. And, I've been playing this game for about 15, 16 months at this point. I don't think I've ever used 8 prep stations because there's no need to. But with this, just wait for that first group to come in. They're going to be coming in very soon. And just luckily, we have the prep stations and we have the coffee machines to set all this up. Now, again, if we wouldn't have that card where it's half speed or slower speed with making coffee, we could have this set up. Look at this. This is nuts. I know I'm saying to myself in real time, look how many groups are outside. And it was because I have those tables already loaded up. I shouldn't have been waiting here. But again, you basically grab and spin for no matter where you are. Just grab, spin. There's coffee. And the thing is that it's so funny because like now we're getting coffee machine drops like they're like water. Like they're just coming like crazy, which is odd because in the beginning part of the run, we weren't getting that many. Like it wasn't that intense. In my opinion, it wasn't that intense. There's more prep stations like we don't need. But we're doing well. I mean, we're doing very well for overtime for day 14. I know there have been a lot of people that have gotten way higher than OT day 14. I get that. My Let's Play series, I think I got around OT 14, something like that, which you guys would have called the Coffee Bean, which would have been out before these were released. Obviously they were, because that was my first playthrough of it. I'm like, I want to get all the sides. And it ended up working out okay, but I mean, what I think is good about this map here is because we have the medium-sized groups, this rush actually isn't as bad because I think we only have 2 groups outside instead of 4. But again, as soon as they sit down, just start pumping them with coffee. They have enough patience that it never really becomes a problem. It was funny because it was like in the beginning, it was more of a problem because we didn't have as many machines. But just pump it out. I mean, the automation is working because it passively is making coffee. And if I'd have 8 coffee machines laid out somewhere, I wouldn't be able to keep up because you got to pick a cup down, pick it up, put it down, and then you got to pick it up, serve it, and then you got to pick up, put down. So I mean, you're saving a ton of time, and that's basically the whole gist of automation is to save passive time, or I guess you'd be saving active time. Then we end up clearing all this out before the next rush comes, and just look at all the coffee is making quite quickly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually have 5 machines right now. So we're making as much as 2.5 machines, like main machines would be doing. There's a scrubby brush. No scrubby brush for this run. There's no need to. There's a bin. There's a prep station. The most things I've seen on the blueprint desks are prep stations here and coffee machines, which does make sense. In hindsight, I should have done The grabbers, I should have researched them more. I should have, again, hindsight, I should have held out to try to get a copy machine. We probably would have been a lot farther. We would have been ahead with the automation a lot further. And through all this, I'm debating myself. I have enough grabbers to set up a conveyor belt system, like a sushi belt type system, but there's no way it would be fast enough because, a person, like see how fast I'm serving those tables? A conveyor belt cannot serve that fast. Boom, 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 and like done. They can't serve them that fast. And that's one thing with this game is I do pride myself on saying that I feel I'm a very, very, very fast player. I ended up messing up I got that one. Oh yeah, I just did it for fun because I don't really need a freezer. I just have it in there just for something. And we have 4,000 coins. Like coffee starts out really, really, really slow and then it ramps up really, really, really fast. And the reason why, it's obvious because you're serving double orders. So you're having 37 groups. Say they're all 4 people. Right there's 148 people times 2. Like, I mean, you're serving 200 cups of coffee or more, and probably 400 cups of coffee or more. Here I'm debating again, laying out things a bit differently. Okay, how's this going to work out? I'll have this one in the middle feeding 2. Will this work? Let's do practice. And then for some reason, the grabber in the middle where the machine is sitting at the bottom isn't grabbing cups. I don't know why it isn't doing that. I don't know why. It just isn't. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Everything else is working fine. I just don't know why it's not working. And what I do is I just pick it up and put it down. I just turn it and then I do practice again. Do I do practice again? I think I'm still thinking about how to set it up because there's no way to have one machine for each prep station. Like we're close to it, but it's just impossible to do it with this type of layout with the space. Yeah, I turn that around. I'm like, okay, why is it not working? Don't want to do it any different. I'm like, we're OT day 15. Let's just rock and roll because there's no better way to do this because you need to have, I said, 5 squares. You need to have a coffee machine, grabber, coffee machine, smart grabber, prep station. So that's 5. I mean, you don't need a prep station, but with this, it's highly recommended and almost a guaranteed thing that you have to have. And here I'm just thinking about laying out this a bit differently. I don't know if I actually end up doing it or not. Because I'm like, okay, how's this going to work? I'm like, well, that's not going to work then. So I think I just put it back the way it was. How do I end up doing it? Because I guess the thought was that the machine in the middle there below me would make coffee and supply cups, but it just... And here I have this backwards as well. So I have to I just put it back the way it was. And I think I do practice one more time. And yeah, sometimes it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And if you notice that the coffee machine right where I'm standing, that conveyor belt is now pulling cups. So it must have just been a little bit of a glitch. So if you ever have glitches like that with conveyor belts or something, just spin them, pick them up, put them down, turn the direction, and then redo practice mode, and it usually will fix it. So I'm like, all right, day 15, let's go. It gets to be just wait for the customers to come in. You'll see what happens. It's just basically because I didn't change anything. There's nothing I changed here as far as the setup. I'm just trying to preload tables to maybe try to use the coffee tables a bit. I'm not really sure the reason. There is a research desk, so kind of a little too late. It still would have been good for a copy desk, but it's like this late in the run, we just have to we're just trying to survive. All I'm doing is trying to survive, and the first rush will be coming momentarily. And this is where you got to be. I'm just being patient because I have everything's filled up, everything's completely filled up, and look at them coming in. Look at this rush. There's how many groups outside? I mean, I know there's 1, 2, I think there's 4 groups outside, at least 3 to 4 groups outside, and they're big groups. It's hard to tell exactly how many are in a group because you can see the ones at the bottom of the outside weight. They're actually doubled up. There you go. And I think there's one more, but I mean, they're getting in and out fast. Thankfully, we have the affordable buff, the affordable tier 1 buff. If we wouldn't have that, we'd be in much more trouble than what we're in right now, because the tier 1 buff. I mean, if you're looking for something to negate leisurely eating or something like that, affordable is the way to go. But the thing is, though, you typically you always have to pick your theme card on day 5. and you may get leisurely eating on day 6 or day 9 or day 12, depending on no matter what your run is. So it's like if you get affordable versus, say, exclusive. A lot of people love exclusive. I love exclusive. If I'd have a choice between the two of them, it all depends on what dish I'm doing. Am I doing a dish like hamburgers where I know I need to get people in and out fast? Then I take affordable. If I'm doing more of a longer run with, like, say, pies, or there's more, look at the groups aside, more involved, then I would take exclusive to try to get more money. And also the bonus patience is good. I rarely have issues with indoor patience. Like I don't think I rarely to never fail a run because of indoor patience. It's more so like patience of people outside. And that just has to do with how many customers you have, basically. But as you see here, I'm going like a madman. I'm just going insane here. But it is working. It is working. I don't want to jinx anything, but because it is working. We're getting towards the end of the day, and still haven't cleared the lunch rush yet. And I'm worrying now because I know the dinner rush is coming any second, and we haven't, and we're running out of cups, especially here because it's like, all right, now they both had double orders. We need more time for things to refresh. That's the problem here. Yeah, it's a problem. Obviously, it's a problem. You'll see what happens as we start rolling in. Look at the groups coming in. There's a lot waiting outside. I mean, we're doing fairly okay. So we keep plugging away here, and all you can do, but look at the patience outside. And the reason why is because it's nighttime and it's windy. Now I know you have rain, you have snow, and you have wind, which all count against you. We are doing actually okay here. So I believe we make it through this day, unscathed, unscathed maybe. And I'm so thankful for having the coffee tables. I know a lot of people are like, oh, coffee tables. No, coffee tables coffee tables in the coffee restaurant are amazing. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Like this is the way to go. You want to have coffee tables like crazy. And, we're doing, luckily, in the beginning of the game, we were smart enough to buy extra tables. I always recommend doing that, guys. I always recommend buy extra tables to push your messes back and then keep buying them if you have the money to do so. Because if we wouldn't have had all these, we wouldn't be able to have 5 4-group tables. Here we're at dinner rush and here we're at tea. Well, our groups just bumped up by 18. And because we have the herd mentality, we have the dinner rush, which is even more customers. So I try to do I do as best as I can. As you can see, I'm trying to think, okay, how can I set this up? Another group of 4. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 8 tables that they could sit at. The problem is we have 57 groups. That's anywhere between 114 and 228 people, which is insane. Plus, if you have double orders, we could be serving over 450 cups of coffee. Theoretically, we could be. So all I'm doing here is I'm just prepping, and you see the top right of this, or the top right of the bar at the top of the screen. When it hits those people, that's when your dinner rush comes, and it comes furiously. You just wait. You'll see what happens. While we are winding down the episode, we do well here. I'm going to do my little spiel. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving me a like as well as a comment. Much appreciated. What's your favorite part of this 3-part series here? Do you like ones like this where I kind of speed it up and do voiceovers? I mean, typically I do like a one-shot, but with coffee, it's hard to do a one-shot. It's almost like you want to do a one-shot, but then it doesn't work out. Look at the people coming in. It is insane. If you guys enjoyed this series or any other video on my channel, please hit the subscribe button, take the bell notification icon. I'm getting so close to 7,000 subscribers. I think at the time of the recording of this video, I'm about 20 or 25 away from 7,000. So if you're lurking out there in cyberspace on YouTube, please hit the follow button, or hit the subscribe button, and you can take the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos that come out. PlateUp content usually is 9 a.m. every single day, Eastern Standard Time, and then you can adjust that for your time zone, of course. And we actually make it through, the morning rush okay, but look, the lunch rush is right on our heels. Right on our heels. Also, guys, head on over to The Ontario Outdoorsman, one of my new YouTube channels that focuses on my life and things I do that are outside of gaming. So head on over there, leave me a subscribe. Trying to grow the channel. I think I have around 40 subscribers right now. It would be much appreciated. And let's just see how I manage, because we're still dealing with the morning rush. And here comes the lunch rush any second. Here it comes. Just look at the look how many people are coming in, and the issue is like we're not at nighttime yet, which is a good thing. We're not at nighttime yet. Once it becomes nighttime, it becomes crazy. And we do okay. Like, it's not nighttime. Like I said, when nighttime comes, or if it's raining, or if it's windy, or if it's snowing, it's worse. We get everybody in, and I'm like, okay, I just got to get everybody in and get everybody out before the dinner rush comes. And look, the timer keeps ticking up and ticking up and ticking up and ticking up and ticking up. And they keep ordering doubles and doubles and doubles. I mean, imagine now if we'd have lattes or something, how would we be able to do that? I mean, yeah, do I make a couple mistakes as far as putting them on the wrong tables? Yes. Is that what cost me the run? No, it's not. Just you'll wait and see. In about 3 seconds, you'll see what happens. Just look at the sheer volume, because remember the way that it rushes. We have a dinner rush. That means we have almost double the amount of customers coming at dinner time, because her mentality spreads it across all rushes, and then the majority of them come at the rush. Hey, look at this. Look at them coming. You can't even see the ground. And it's nighttime. Just look at the patient bar outside. Just look at it. Look at everyone. We had no chance. No chance at all. There was absolutely 0.0 chance at all. It's just insane. I do franchise this, guys, so I'm going to stop the audio here. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I hope to catch you next time with some more King of the Coffee fun. Thanks, guys.